The latest idea on spring breaks from the always innovative crew at Sure Travel pointed us here to this one-stop emporium dedicated to the Iron Horse lifestyle. With September only days away, now's the time to get your motor running and head out on the highway.
Dave, how's it going, man?
How's it, Nick? How you doing?
Very well, actually. In fact, maybe you can help me out. Why is it that suddenly I feel completely at home?
Well, that's the thing with this place. Most guys and girls that come here always feel at home. We're a one-stop shop for everything you need for motorcycles.
Well, then I'm at exactly the right place because I'm going for a long ride, so I'm going to need, everything that I'm going to need. What am I going to need?
Safety, whilst paramount, is also a fantastic excuse to splash out on one of the coolest wardrobes known to man.
Here we have our jackets that you're going to need for while you're riding. The nice thing about these jackets is they've got padding in the shoulders, elbows, down your back, and on the sides here, just to protect you if something were to happen. A set of gloves to keep your hands warm, also just to protect your hands. Then obviously you're going to need one of these.
And, see the Hancock.
There we go. We organised you a set of Hancock goggles.
That feels about right.
If only you could fly.
Ta-dun-dun, ta-dun-dun, ta-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Nice moves.
Thank you, sir.
We'd be in the distinguished company of leader of the pack, Wolf Dieter Sawadi, who's been at the forefront of welcoming the uninitiated into 21st century biker culture and opening their eyes, ears and everything else to the joys of the ride.
Well, I've got to say, there's absolutely nothing like it that I've experienced. The sheer power of the machine, and you just feel a part of everything around you.
Yeah, obviously when you're biking, you experience nature and everything around you a lot more than when you're cocooned up in a car. It's the sights, the sounds, the smells. Stop, see, enjoy.
Already Nico was feeling a spirit of independence and decided to break ranks up the R315 in search of the growing fame of the local Renosterveld. A highly fertile area that once hosted zebra, quagga, hartebeest, elephant, buffalo, lion and leopard. Today the flowers are its most sought-after form of wildlife, and author Ruth Parker is both expert and enthusiast.
What exactly is Renosterveld?
Renosterveld grows on these more fertile soils and has a Renosterbos growing on it. That's what would actually determine a Renosterveld, would be the presence of a Renosterbos.
It's hardly a stretch to understand why, after living on a farm surrounded by this beauty, Ruth was moved to write a book about it. With the subtitle, A Wilderness Exposed, it's the story of how these fields came to such richness. Every page brought to life with photographer Britta Lomber's gallery of flowers.
Where does the name come from?
Well, Renoster, as we know, is a rhino. You can see that's sort of the same color as a rhinoceros hide. Or else because we found rhinos in Renosterveld. One of the sad things is that 96% of it is gone. But luckily farmers have become more conservation-minded and they're now creating reserves because they realize its importance.
From a prize, if threatened, Floral Kingdom, a quick burn up the road landed this biker at the heart of the region's vast marine riches.
It may seem like just another humble seaside village, but I've been told that people flock here from all over the world to come and see what's known as the Diamond of the West Coast.
Managing the 25,000 residents of Bird Island, the world's most accessible Cape Gannet colony, is the privilege of Mr. L.B. Kluter of Cape Nature.
How important are the gannets ecologically?
Well, in the past, the local fishermen used their birds as indication where the fish are. But now these days, we take diet samples of some of the birds to see what species of fish they eat. So that gave us indication then what the species of fish we've got in the ocean.
I noticed a lot of this going on. What exactly does that mean?
Yes, that is part of the greeting, how they greet each other.
Among the teeming marine life, a snook, and when they run, boats come from all corners to join in the bounty. But the cool blue waters are also home to a diversity of marine mammals, from southern right whales to Cape fur seals. The resident schools of Heaviside dolphins are the pride of tour operator Kevin Langeveld.
Kevin, one of the things this bay is famous for is dolphin spotting, and apparently the success rate is very high. Why is that?
This dolphin that we get here is endemic to this area. So he only occurs in a very narrow ecological strip along the coast of southern Africa. So it's actually the only true southern African dolphin. And we see them about 90% of the trips because they are resident in the bay.
Are they different from other dolphins?
Their size, for one thing, their maximum length will probably be about 1.8 meters, as opposed to your bottle or your common dolphin is about 2.2, 2.5 meters. So they're a lot smaller. Their colouring is very distinctive. They've got a white trident on their chest, and he's got a triangular fin different to your other dolphins, and also he's got a much shorter nose. He hasn't got the sort of traditional dolphin sort of beak.
If you were a tourist a couple of million years ago, then this next adventure would have been a diving, not a sandboarding excursion. As it happens, the bed of a former lake is now a desert that's not quite the Sahara.
Johan, as I understand it, this is one of the smallest deserts in the world.
That's right, Nico, yes. We are just 10 kilometers out of Lambert's Bay, and we're in one of the loveliest places, I think, on the west coast. Now, these dunes are called static dunes because they basically just stay where they are here at this one place. And the reason for that is the water table is quite close to the surface of the ground. This used to be a freshwater lake, and what stayed behind is what you see here today.
The countryside changes so quickly on you out here that you get several holidays in a single day's ride.
Not only is it one of the smallest deserts in the world, it's also one of the fastest. And the sand doesn't taste too bad either.
A few k's on and the lagoons, Vleis and Jakhals River are overflowing with migrant bird life. But after Nico's aperitif of desert sand and a chaser of dirt road dust, he was more concerned with finding a reputable watering hole for some refreshment with a local spin.
Excuse me, sir. Johan, I've just driven a long way and I'm very thirsty, but I'd like something that's unique to this village. What have you got for me?
Well, there's a new shoot I invented. It's called the Gannet, and I can show you what's in it and you can have a taste.
If you haven't stopped for morning tea and cake, then this will take care of all your sugar requirements.
Well, that's the sweetest bird I've met in a long time. Thank you, sir.
The West Coast is a place to escape, to get your head right, and where Mariette Breitenbach is one of the most favoured hosts.
Well, Mariette, this is my first visit to your beautiful little village, and I'm loving it as is. Tell me a bit more about this hotel.
Well, when I was little, we used to come here on holiday, and the hotel was here, and I thought, well, that would be my dream one day to actually manage this hotel, and it happened, and I'm really, really grateful for that, to be able to live my dream.
It's good to have comfortable refuge, but the constant call of these wild outdoors is hard to ignore, as is the aroma of seafood from this wonderful seaside nest of a restaurant called Meisboskarum. The definition of rustic, serving up lunch and dinner with shells as eating utensils. Plus, their no-nonsense beach braai approach to marine cuisine hasn't changed in the decades of its existence.
Tertius, I've got to tell you, man, this is exactly what I need after the kind of day that I've had. What exactly do you serve here?
Ons het 'n groot verskeidenheid vis wat ons braai, ons rook vis, maar dit is maar alles wat beskikbaar is. Ons is nog altyd gelukkig om ten minste 'n minimum van 5 soorte verskillende visse te hê.
Fresh seafood is the second language of Lambert's Bay, and one which everyone speaks. Seduced by the rugged charms of the West Coast, Nico felt he'd come home. You will too. Sure Travel puts you in the picture this week. Make memories that last a lifetime with holiday packages from Sure Travel. Details on the website and in Top Billing magazine.